Caine is a pioneer in the realm of personal growth and healing. With over 30 years of expertise as a world-renowned hypnotherapist, healer, metaphysician, and life coach, he has helped thousands of people heal everything from migraines to menopause suffering, chronic fatigue to PMS, and even cancer. His revolutionary FutureVisioning process powerfully connects people with their ideal future so they can step out of their limitations and tap into their unlimited power to create vibrantly healthy, happy, and success-filled lives.
Thank you. How many of you have a future? And how many of you would like your future to be filled with health and happiness and love and success? Yes. Well, you're in the right place. My name is Caine. I'm a hypnotherapist, a healer, and a whole life success coach. And my specialty is I help people to literally design and then create the future of dreams coming true. Anybody interested? Great. I'd like to share just a little bit about my work. Would that be okay? My specialty is helping you to design and create your future. And by the time we're done with this seminar, you're not only going to have a clear vision of your future, but you're also going to have the principles, the tools, and the secrets to create the future that you really, really want. Did you know that studies show that only about 3% of our population have a clear vision of their future? And only about 17% have kind of an idea, and then the other 80% don't know where they're going. Imagine. What if the businesses out there, what if 70, 80, 90% of the businesses were operating without a business plan? What if 70, 80, 90% of the airlines were flying planes and just had a good idea of where they wanted to go? Most human beings, unfortunately, are in that situation. What we're going to do is learn how to design and create the awesome future that you really want. The work that I do is unique, and 4 or 5 years ago, the senior writer from Psychology Today heard about me, and she called me and asked about my work, and I explained how I have developed this whole model of working with our future. And she said she'd worked for Psych Today for 15 years and had never heard of anything like that. I said, I know, because I created this. So this is really unique work. In your handouts there, you have the first article that she wrote. A series of 7 articles were done about my work that went out over the internet to millions of people. You have the first article in there. You also have a set of worksheets to help you design the future that you really want. To give you a sense of the power in the relationship with the future, I'd like you to do an exercise with me. Are you willing? Yeah. Okay. What I'd like you to do is imagine that up here in front of you is your future. And on the way to your future, there are 5 different doorways taking you to different futures. Doorway 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Doorway number 1 leads to the awful futures. The destruction and pain and suffering, all the fine print in the insurance forms. Winston Churchill had a great quote for that. He said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And perhaps turn right to at least doorway number 2, which is the mediocre futures. That's what we're programmed for. That's what you get if you don't do anything else. If you just follow life's plan, you wind up with a mediocre future. Luckily, there are 3 more doors. The good futures, the better futures, and the awesome futures. Which one do you want? Awesome. I can't hear you. Awesome. So let's do a little experiment to see how this relationship with the future might affect you. If you would, set your things down and stand for just a minute. Okay, now what I want you to do is feel your feelings as you explore this relationship between you and your future. So what I'd like you to do first is turn and actually face doorway number 1 and 2, the awful and mediocre futures, and just pretend for a minute that that's where you're going to spend the rest of your life. Now, I'd like to ask a few of you to tell me, how do you feel?
I feel really sad.
Yes.
My stomach's tight.
Sad and your stomach tight.
I feel yucky.
Yucky, yes. And notice that this, unfortunately, is where most people are headed without knowing it. Now, since you are powerful and you have the power to choose, make a choice to turn your attention today towards the awesome future. face the awesome future. Imagine spending the rest of your life there. And now notice, how do you feel? Light, beautiful, free.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yes, making a difference. Yes, and you have the power. This is your choice. And what we're going to work on is designing and then creating this awesome future so that you spend the rest of your life there. Anybody interested? Yes. As you know, I'm a hypnotherapist and a healer and a life success coach, which gives me a broad range of understanding of how human beings work. One of the things that I've discovered is almost all illnesses are related to this discomfort that you feel if you're not excited about your future. An example of that, about 5 years ago, a woman named Laura called me from Canada. Her voice was virtually flat. There was no life in her voice at all. And I asked her why and what her situation was. She said for over 2 years, she had been suffering with 10 to 15 panic attacks every single night. That was on the end of various health problems and anxiety issues culminating in these panic attacks. So I explained to her a little bit about what I do, working with the future. And I said, Laura, tell me a little bit about your future. And she had really listened carefully, and she was desperate because she tried everything from medical doctors and medicine. She tried alternative healthcare practitioners of every kind. She'd done the visualization and the self-hypnosis stuff. Nothing had made any difference at all. And I said, I think I know why. Tell me about your future. She goes, let me see. I'm 28. I live in Canada, and I hate cold weather. My boyfriend is in Los Angeles, which is 2,500 miles away, and that's the closest I've ever had a relationship. And my health and my whole attitude is, oh, did I mention that I live in Canada and I hate cold weather? So over a period of years, her whole life and her outlook had deteriorated. So I said, how old are you, Laura? She goes, 28. I said, how long do you think you might live? She says, well, my family lives pretty long, in their 80s, 90s. And I said, so do the math. How many years are in front of you? She figured out probably 50, 60 years. I said, Laura, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with you. If someone came to me and said, you've got 50 or 60 years of living in an environment where you're not happy, love 2,500 miles away, and deteriorating physical condition, I would be freaking out, I'd be panicking, and I'd be proud of myself for having enough sense to panic. She said, oh my God, that's the first time anyone has told me that there's something sane about me. Everyone else has put a label on it, told me I have a panic disorder. I said, no, you don't have a panic disorder. You have a future disorder. So I told her a little bit. We started to work on her future, what it could look like. She was really excited, but didn't know if she wanted to commit the time and money to do the work. So I said, okay, I'll be around. Just let me know. So she said, I'll think about it, and I will call you back. So click, hangs up. 6 days later, she calls me back. She says, okay, I'm ready. I want to do that first session. I want to get going on this. I said, okay, why? What happened? She said, since we talked, which was only about a 30, 40-minute conversation, she said, I have not had a single panic attack, 0. And what's even more incredible than that is I'm no longer afraid of my panic attacks. That was the key point. We did the session. Not only did her panic attacks never come back, that was 6 or 7 years ago, they've never come back, but also her food allergies disappeared after the first session. I didn't even know she had food allergies because her list of symptoms was so long that it went beyond 1 page, and that was on the 2nd page. The food allergies disappeared. Everything in her life changed. And the great part was, 2 months later, her boss came to her at work and said, we want to give you a promotion, but it's going to involve moving. And we have 2 choices, California or Florida. So you literally can create your future and create magic in the process. The great thing about my work is I get to help people create wonderful futures. I help individuals and organizations to design and manifest their dreams come true. The future visioning work that I have designed is literally an empowered psychology that teaches people to tap their own power to create the life that they really want. And it works.